Hello and welcome everyone. Good evening. Welcome to the session. Let's wait for about 2 or 3 minutes and then let's proceed. All right, let's wait for everyone to join and then let's start off. All right. Let's wait for 2 or 3 minutes and then let's start off. All right. Right, just wait. Let's wait for 2 minutes. Hello. Let's wait for 2 minutes. Let everyone join in. All right, let's wait for another minute. All right, let's wait for another minute or so. Let's wait for 30 seconds more. Let everyone join in. And then we start off. All right, almost there. Chaliye. So welcome to Unacademy, India's largest online learning platform that gives you a world of courses, resources, content, live and recorded sessions to help you in your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examinations. And also, I'd like to welcome you to crack CA exams with us, which is a vertical and channel of Unacademy that caters to the students of CA Foundation and Intermediate in their journey and pursuit of preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examinations by providing top educators, quality content, and overall a great learning experience. So come, let's crack CA exams with Unacademy, India's largest online learning platform. Welcome to the session once again. Now, before we proceed, a brief introduction about the educator today. Hello, I'm Prathik Gupta. I am a Bachelor of Commerce from Christ College, Bangalore University. I am an Associate Member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. I am an Associate Member of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India. I am an Associate Member of the Institute of Company Secretaries of India and also a law graduate from Karnataka State Law University. I am currently a practicing Chartered Accountant and also a visiting faculty for CA subjects and an educator for CA students both offline and online. Prior to starting on my own, I worked with S.R. Bartley Boy & Associates, that is the Indian member firm of Ernst & Young Global in the Audit and Assurance Department. Then I went on to work with Ernst & Young India in the Mergers and Acquisitions Department. And then I went on to work with the Manipal Group in Bangalore as the corporate controller of their Indian entity as well as their German subsidiary located in Frankfurt, Germany. It was only when I got back from Frankfurt, Germany that I decided to start something on my own. And that also gave me an opportunity to become an educator, which in turn has given me this opportunity today to be able to take this session for you young, bright and enthusiastic CA aspirants. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, and I hope you find my session useful. Anytime during my session, in case you have any questions, queries, observations or discussions to be made, please do not hesitate to drop in a line and I will take up the matter for discussion or for problem solving as soon as I can. Before we proceed, I'd also like to draw your attention to my name, which is Prathik Gupta, which is Prathik with an H. Now, I'm stressing on the spelling of my name because a lot of people misspell my name, and that's the reason why they are unable to find my sessions on the YouTube channel of Unacademy as well as the Unacademy Learning App in the form of special classes. So it is Prathik, Prathik Gupta. Alright, so using this name Prathik Gupta, you can look me up on the YouTube channel of Unacademy to find my hundreds of hours of session, as well as you can also look me up on the Unacademy Learning App to find the hundreds of hours of special classes that I have conducted, which will help the students of CA Foundation and Intermediate in their journey and pursuit of preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examinations. Alright, so I look forward to all of you going through my sessions, and after going through my sessions, in case you have any questions, you can always come back to me. Alright, now like I told you, Unacademy caters to you in your preparation for the CA Foundation and the Intermediate examination to 3 platforms. Now what are those 3 platforms? Those platforms are YouTube, special classes as well as the Plus courses. Now YouTube and special classes are absolutely free of cost, but they provide you an enormous amount of value and resources which will help you in your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examinations. Now YouTube session is what you're watching right now. You go in that, go to YouTube, type in Prathik Gupta, Prathik Gupta, and you will see the hundreds of many sessions that I've taken which you can choose from to help you in your preparation. Special classes are conducted on the Unacademy Learning App. Okay, more about which I will tell you in the following slides. Talking about the Plus platform of Unacademy. Now, Plus platform of Unacademy is the premium platform of Unacademy, which is a payment-based subscription model which provides various subscription packages. More about the subscription packages I will tell you in the following slides. So in this slide, I will tell you about why I recommend and encourage you to become part of the Plus platform of Unacademy as soon as possible in order to accelerate and enhance your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examination. The first reason why I recommend and encourage you to become part of the Plus platform of Unacademy is because of the daily live classes it conducts, where you get to chat with your educator, engage in discussions, ask your doubts and answer polls, all this while the class is going on. Yes, you heard it right. All this while the class is going on. You do not need to wait for the end of the class. You do not need to wait for a couple of hours after the class. You do not need to wait for a few days after the class. Neither do you need to wait for the weekend after the class. Neither do you need to wait to fix up an appointment with your educator. You can clear your doubts and have discussion with the educator right then and there or on a real-time basis when the class is going on, and your educator will be happy to answer your questions and have discussions with you. Okay, it is as simple as you lifting your hand in a live classroom and your educator will take up the matter for problem solving or discussion or for solving your queries. Okay, the second reason why I recommend and encourage you to become part of the Plus platform of Unacademy is because of the live tests and quizzes it conducts on a regular and periodic basis, which help to evaluate your preparation and also get a detailed analysis of your performance. Now, you might wonder why this evaluation of preparation and detailed analysis of performance is important. So let me tell you that whenever you're preparing for a professional examination, it becomes very important for you to take a stock of your preparation from time to time to know where you stand in terms of your preparation. That is, which areas you're prepared, which areas you require more preparation, and which areas you might require external help. So basically, the Plus platform of Unacademy helps to break down your preparation into 3 areas. That is, your strong areas, your not so strong areas, and your weak areas. So that whatever limited preparation time you have, you can use that time on those 3 areas accordingly until the time when your weak areas and your not so strong areas eventually become your strong areas. Thereby, the Plus platform of Unacademy helps ensures minimum wastage of your precious time and maximum utilization of your limited preparation time. The third reason why I recommend and encourage you to become part of the Plus platform of Unacademy is because of the structured courses, as all our courses are structured in line with your exam syllabus to help you best prepare for it, which simply means that all the Plus courses on the Plus platform of Unacademy are prepared keeping in mind your exam syllabus, and once you complete the Plus course on the Plus platform, you can rest assured that you have completed the syllabus of your examination without missing out on any important or major points. And lastly and most importantly, why I recommend and encourage you to become part of the Plus platform of Unacademy is because of the unlimited access it provides. The one subscription gets you access to all our live and recorded courses to watch from the comfort of any of your devices, which simply means the one subscription to the Plus platform of Unacademy gets you access to all the live and recorded courses on the Unacademy platform, which is your live and recorded Plus courses, live and recorded special classes, which will help you in your preparation. And you can watch these from the comfort of any of your devices, which means you can watch this from the mobile phone, laptop, tablet, or desktop as the case may be, without having any restrictions. Not only this, you can also view these live and recorded sessions 24/7 without any timing restrictions like 10 to 4, 10 to 5, 10 to 6. Nah, there is no restriction whatsoever. These sessions are available to you 24/7, and whenever you want to study, you can just pull out your mobile phone, log into the Unacademy Learning App, and start your preparation. It's as simple as that. And an additional feature is all these live recorded sessions are accessible or available to you from any location. Whether you are at home, whether you're in college, whether you're in office, or whether you're traveling from home to college or office, or from college office to home, or you're waiting for someone for a meeting, or you're in your native place, or you're simply on a vacation and you want to study, you can pull out your mobile phones, log into the Unacademy Learning App, and start your preparation without having any hesitations or problems. All you require is an internet connection or data plan, which all of us are blessed with today. So keeping all these advantages in mind, I strongly recommend and encourage you to become part of the Plus platform of Unacademy as soon as possible in order to accelerate and enhance your preparation for the CA Foundation and intermediate examinations. Alright, please take about 30 seconds, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Okay, please take about 20 seconds more. Any questions, please ask me. If not, then we'll proceed. Okay, now in the previous slide you heard me say it a lot as to live and recorded special classes, live and recorded Plus courses. Okay, so you might be wondering where are those available. Okay, so the live and recorded Plus courses and live and recorded special classes are available on an app known as the Unacademy Learning App. So for all of you who have downloaded the Unacademy Learning App and are using it, I thank you very much, and I request your support in the future as well. And for those of you who have not yet downloaded the Unacademy Learning App, I request you to go to the Play Store on your mobile phone, download the Unacademy Learning App, install it on your phones, put in your mobile number where you will get an OTP, and using that OTP you can register on the Unacademy Learning App. It's as simple as this with no lengthy or complicated procedures. So you might ask me, okay, I have downloaded the Unacademy Learning App, I've installed it on my phone, I've registered on it using the OTP. So what's next? So let me tell you that the Unacademy Learning App gives you access to all the live and recorded special classes that Unacademy has to offer to you to help you in your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examination. And it gives you access to all the live and recorded plus courses that Unacademy has to offer to you in order to accelerate and enhance your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examinations. All right. So keeping these benefits in mind, I request you to download the Unacademy Learning App as soon as possible. Install it on your mobile phones, register on it using your mobile number and the OTP, and start using all the numerous resources that Unacademy Learning App provides to you to help you in your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examination. And I also request, and I also request you to spread the word around to the people around you to get to know about the Unacademy Learning App. Help them download and install the Unacademy Learning App on their phones. Help them register on it using their mobile numbers and OTP so that they too can make use of the enormous amount of resources that Unacademy provides to you in order to help you in your preparations. Alright, please take about 30 seconds, go through this, and if you get stuck anywhere, you can always chat with us to provide you the relevant solution. Alright, just take about 30 seconds, go through this, and then we proceed. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions? Anyone? Okay, let's proceed. Now, this is the important slide. Now, like I told you, the Plus platform of Unacademy is the premium platform of Unacademy that is a payment-based subscription model and which provides various subscription packages. Accordingly, the CA Foundation and the Intermediate subscription packages provided by the Plus platform of Unacademy are as follows. The packages provided are for 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months and 24 months. The 1 month package costs you rupees 3,500. The 3 months package costs you rupees 8,750. The 6 months package costs you rupees 14,000. The 12 months package costs you rupees 17,500. And the 24 months package costs you rupees 21,000. Alright, now please remember these are all the listed prices of the packages. So before you make the payment for the package of your choice, please do not forget to use the code Prathik to get an instant discount of 10%. I repeat, please do not forget to use the code Prathik, Prathik, to get an instant discount of 10% on the above listed price. So the after discount price of the various packages are as follows. The 1 month package will cost you rupees 3,150. The 3 month package will cost you rupees 7,875. The 6 months package will cost you rupees 12,600. The 12 months package will cost you rupees 15,750. And the 24 months package will cost you rupees 18,900. So you see immediately you get a discount of 10% or the savings of 10% when you use my code Prathik. Now, I recommend you to start off with the 12 months and 24 months package this thing because of 2 reasons. Firstly, it is cost effective. If you compare the 1 month package cost with the per month cost of the 12 months and 24 months packages, you will see that you get great cost savings almost immediately. Secondly, and most importantly, since the CA Foundation and Intermediate course is provided in one package, that is your 12 months or 24 months package, a 12 or 24 months package will be highly beneficial to you because it covers the duration of your entire course, that is the CA Foundation and Intermediate, which normally takes about 12 months, a minimum, for you to study and clear. So if you're getting a package that is 12 months or 24 months that covers the entire duration of your course, that is CA Foundation and CA Intermediate, at a very cost-effective price, I think that is a very good deal. But having said this, you're free to choose the package of your choice. But before you make the payment, please do not forget to use the code Prathik to get an instant discount of 10% on the above listed price. You can also make use of the no-cost EMI option available for the 6 months, 12 months and 24 months packages, just in case you do not wish to make the entire payment at one shot. The payment options available to you are debit card, credit card and internet banking, and all the coins that you accumulated by watching the special classes can be redeemed when you make the payment for the Plus course. So keeping in mind all these packages, the discounts and these offers, and also the advantages that I told you in the previous slides, I strongly recommend and encourage you to become part of the Plus platform of Unacademy as soon as possible in order to enhance and accelerate your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examinations. All right. Please take about a minute, go through this slide. Any questions, please ask me and I will be happy to answer them for you. Okay, please take a minute, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions? Okay, now like I told you, the Unacademy Learning App gives you access to all the live and recorded special classes that Unacademy has to provide to you. Here are the snapshots of few of the many special classes that I have conducted on the Unacademy Learning App and which you can make use of in your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examination. There are special classes on the Revision Test Paper, Sale of Goods Act, Indian Contracts Act, the Companies Act, Fundamentals of Accounting, Retirement of Partner, Admission of Partner, Death of Partner, Valuation of Inventories, Revision on Final Account of Entities, Revision on Sale of Goods on Approval or Return Basis, and many more sessions. So please log on to the Unacademy Learning App, go to my profile, that is Prathik Gupta, Prathik GuptaV, and you will see the hundreds of hours of sessions that I've taken on the Unacademy Learning App, which you will find useful. And also on the YouTube channel, you can go and look me up by my name Prathik Gupta, and you will see the hundreds of hours of sessions that I've taken on the YouTube channel of Unacademy as well, okay, for your benefit. Please take about 30 seconds, go through this, and then we proceed. Any questions, please ask me. Okay, now here are also the links to few of the many special classes that I have conducted on the Unacademy Learning App. You can either click on these links or copy and paste these links on your browser to take you directly to my special class on the Unacademy Learning App. There are special classes on the Indian Contracts Act, the Sale of Goods Act, the Indian Partnership Act, the Limited Liability Partnership Act, the Companies Act, Basics of Communication, Accounting Concepts, Revision Test Papers, and many more sessions which you will find on the Unacademy Learning App. So again, once again, I request you to log into the Unacademy Learning App. Go to my profile Prathik Gupta, Prathik Gupta, and you will find the sessions that you will find useful for your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examinations. All right. Okay, let's proceed. Now let's proceed with the topic on discussion on concept of caveat emptor. Now this concept comes under Sale of Goods Act 1930, forming part of your syllabus, forming part of your subject business law for CA Foundation. Okay. Now this is a very important concept in terms of Sale of Goods Act 1930, and it is also very applicable in our day-to-day lives. All right. So let's discuss this. It's important, and at the end of this session, we will discuss some revision test paper questions as well. If you have any questions at any time during the session, please feel free to ask me, and I will address your questions. All right. Now, definition. Caveat emptor is a Latin expression which means cautious buyer or let the buyer beware. Okay, that's important. Now, caveat emptor means cautious buyer or let the buyer beware. In other words, it is for the buyer to satisfy himself that the goods which he is purchasing are of the quality which he requires. If he buys goods for a particular purpose, he must satisfy himself that they are fit for that purpose. Okay, now let's say any of us go to buy mangoes. Now when there is that shop in the mango shop, so he tells, when you go to the mango shop guy, you'll ask him, "Bhaiya, mango chahiye." So he'll tell you, "Okay, there is a mango selected," right? So that time you will see a lot of ladies Okay, because they are experts in this, they know about it, they're much more experienced. They will press the mango and see whether it's a good quality. They will, some of you of them smell the mangoes and see. So then that just simply says that it is the duty of the buyer to actually check the goods that he's buying and whether it is fit for the purpose that he's buying it for, and then take it. Because once he buys it, then the seller is not responsible for it. If he's not tested the goods, if he's not tested the mangoes properly or whatever, then the seller will not be responsible, but it will be the buyer that will be responsible for those goods. Okay, so if he buys goods for a particular purpose, he must satisfy himself that they are fit for that purpose. So let's say mangoes, right? Now there are two types of mangoes. One mango which you can make a milkshake, and one mango is for eating. Okay, so if a person wants to make a milkshake, it is his responsibility that he goes and picks up those pulpy and the softer ones so that he can make a mango shake out of it. And if he wants to eat it, then he needs to pick up the harder ones and the ripe ones so that he can cut them and eat them. So he needs to make sure that whatever purpose he is buying the mangoes for, those mangoes fulfill that purpose. Alright, so that will be the buyer's responsibility, and that's why the term caveat emptor is a Latin expression which means cautious buyer or let the buyer beware. Alright, please take a minute, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. This is just an introduction. Okay, please take about 30 seconds more. Any questions, please ask me. This is just an introduction of caveat emptor. It's a very interesting and very practical concept. Okay, let's proceed. Now, it is the basic premise that the buyer buy at his or own risk and therefore should examine and test a product himself or herself for obvious defects and imperfections. So whenever a buyer is buying a product, you will normally see, or whenever you and me also go to buy something, we will actually check the whole thing. If it's an electronic goods, we'll put the battery and we'll see whether the good is okay. If we are planning to buy a mobile phone, we will switch on the mobile phone, see its configuration, see the color quality, the screen quality and everything. At times the audio quality also, and then we buy it, right? So it becomes caveat emptor again. It is that the basic premise or the basic rule is that the buyer buy at his or her own risk and therefore should examine and test the product himself or herself for obvious defects and imperfections. Okay. In simple words, it is not the seller's duty to give to the point out the defects in the goods he is selling. So it is not the seller's responsibility to say that no sir, don't buy this mango, it is spoiled, or don't buy that product, it is defective, or the light is less or something. No, he has kept the product on display for you to purchase. If you want to purchase it, it's your responsibility that you check it properly, you find out that it satisfies the purpose for which you're buying it, and then buy it. Okay, he must take care while purchasing the goods. If he makes a wrong selection, he cannot blame the seller. Obviously, there are exceptions to the rule of caveat emptor, which we will discuss later, but it is the main duty of the buyer of goods to make a proper selection. If he makes a wrong selection, he cannot blame the seller. Please take a minute, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask. Okay, please take a minute. Any questions, please ask me. Okay, shall we proceed? Let me know once you're done. Okay, now here are the exceptions to the rule of doctrine of caveat emptor. Okay, caveat emptor is let the buyer beware, or beware or cautious buyer, right? Now these are the exceptions, or these are the situations in which the concept or the doctrine of caveat emptor does not hold good. First one, it is fitness for the buyer's purpose. Now when the buyer tells the seller that he wants the goods for a particular purpose, okay, and he tells the seller that please sell that goods, or show me the goods which is for this purpose, and then if the seller shows the wrong goods, then the concept of caveat emptor does not hold good, because here the buyer has very clearly told the seller that this is the purpose or the reason I want the goods, so please give me goods for that purpose. Okay, and then it becomes the responsibility of the seller to show him goods for that. Like for example, if you go to a shoe shop and you tell him that I want shoes for basketball, sports shoes to play basketball, so that the shopkeeper gives you some basic sports shoes, and which are not meant for basketball, but he tells you, yeah, it's for basketball. In that case, okay, now you can check the quality, whether the shoe is defective or not in this thing. Then when you actually go and play basketball, it is not suitable for basketball. Your ankle or your knee starts hurting. So you go back and you tell him, I asked you for basketball shoes and this is what you've given me. So at that point, if he makes up stories or cooks up stories that no, I don't know, you have bought the shoe, I'm not returning it, then in that case you can take legal action against him, because you have told him for what purpose you have bought the shoe. Alright, so whenever the buyer tells the purpose to the seller, the fitness or the purpose to the seller, then it is the seller's responsibility to give the shoes that fit the buyer's purpose. And here the doctrine of caveat emptor will not hold good. Okay, then sale under a patent name or trade name. Now whenever there is a product sold under a patent or a trade name that belongs, okay, then in that case the doctrine of caveat emptor also does not hold good, because see, the patent and trademark gives a different quality about the goods, or a different image about the goods. Let's say a good has a particular trademark. Okay, so obviously that speaks about the quality of the goods, right? So in that case, you can rely on it. That okay, it is a patented or a trademark, this thing, so I can rely on it. So in that case, let the buyer beware does not hold good, because it is already patented and you have a trademark. So in that case, if something goes wrong, then the buyer can take legal action against the seller again. Okay, any questions you may please ask me. The third one, merchantable quantity. The quality, merchantable quantity means it should be at least fit enough to be sold in the market. If a particular goods is all shabby and damaged and cracked and leaking and everything like that, then obviously that is not of merchantable quality. So for an item to be sold or fit to be sold in an open market, it should be of merchantable quality. And if it's not of merchantable quantity, the doctrine of constructive notice cannot be relied upon, or the seller cannot rely or take the shelter of the doctrine of caveat emptor. Okay, merchantable quantity. So at least the basic quality of goods should be maintained by the seller, and if that is not maintained, then he cannot say caveat emptor. Okay, then usage of trade. Now, if there is a particular trade for a purpose, again it's quite relating to the first point. If there is a particular purpose for which the buyer wants the goods, and that purpose is communicated to the seller, then it becomes the seller's duty to give him the goods that fit the usage of the trade. If those goods do not fit that usage of the trade for which the buyer wants it, then it will not be. Then he cannot rely on the concept of doctrine of caveat emptor. Okay, but see, all these, if you remember, if you actually closely observe, if the purpose is communicated to the seller, then the seller cannot take shelter of the caveat emptor doctrine. Okay, consent by fraud. Now, in case the seller obtains the consent of the buyer by fraudulently or deceiving him into buying something, in that case he cannot, after fraudulently deceiving him to buy something, later on he can't say, no, the buyer should have checked it. No, because you have fraudulently sold him something, you have lied to him, misled to him and deceived him, and after doing that, you cannot say that, no, the buyer should have checked it, right? Caveat emptor. No, you have committed a fraud, so you will be responsible for that activity to the buyer. In case of misrepresentation by the seller, now misrepresentation is not a fraud exactly, but a little in line with that, where it is by mistake. Okay, where the seller thinks that something is true, but actually it is not true, and he stresses to the buyer that no, this is true, so please rely on me and take it. So in case something like that happens, in case there is a misrepresentation from the seller to the buyer, then the seller cannot take the shelter of caveat emptor. Okay, then in the case of concealment of latent defect, now there is a very major defect in the product, not a minor one, a major defect in the product, and basically what the seller has done, he's done some sticking up, he stuck it with Fevicol or super glue or something, and he's done and concealed the latent defect. In that case, later on, if the buyer gets to know that there is a defect in the goods that was sold to him, he can take legal action against the seller, and the seller cannot say that no, caveat emptor, no, you should have known that there's a defect, you should have known that I've stuck up something. No, if he wants to take shelter of this, then the seller should have told him when he was buying it that, see boss, I have stuck this thing up, I have done a repair job, if you want it, you take it, if you don't want to take it, don't take it, okay? Then he cannot, then in that case, he can take the concept shelter of caveat emptor, but in case he's not told the buyer about that, then he cannot take shelter of the doctrine of caveat emptor. Okay, then the next point, in the case of sale by description, so let's say the buyer goes to the seller and he describes the goods he wants. Let's say he wants some gum boots, those long boots to which he can work in a factory or he can work in a swamp, and he tells him that I want these huge rubber boots so that the person wearing it, he does not, his legs do not get into the mud or the swamp and other things and all that, so please give me suitable shoes for that. So in that case, if the buyer has described the purpose or the goods that he wants, then in that case the seller is bound to supply those goods to him, and later on he cannot take the shelter of doctrine of caveat emptor that you should have checked it. No, because you have already described to him what kind of goods you want. Okay, that is the similarly in the case of sale by sample. So let's say you take a particular bottle, water bottle, and you go to the seller and you say, boss, I want this kind of water bottle. So you please make a bulk 200, 300 water bottles and give it to me. So then if your sample is given to you, a seller, and the seller agrees that he will match the sample, then it becomes the seller's duty to give you the goods matching your sample. The bulk of the goods should match your sample. In case it doesn't, then the buyer can return the goods and take legal action against the seller, and the seller cannot take shelter of the doctrine of caveat emptor. Okay? Then fitness for a particular purpose. Then again, for whatever purpose the buyer wants to buy the goods, it should be fit for that purpose. It should be suitable for that purpose, and it also should be fit for that purpose. So if it's a basketball shoes, the shoes should be fit for the basketball purpose, and only then can the seller take shelter under the doctrine of caveat emptor. Otherwise, no. Okay, so these are the few exceptions to the doctrine of caveat emptor. There are about 10 or 12 points of these. Please take about 2 or 3 minutes, go through this, try and recollect the explanations I've given for each of them, and then if you have any questions, please ask me. Okay, and then we proceed. Please take about 2 or 3 minutes, go through this peacefully. It's an important question. Okay, and let me know once you're done. Let me know once you're done. Any questions, please ask. Take about a minute more. Any questions, please ask. Take about a minute more. Carefully go through this. Okay, any questions? Anyone? Any questions? Okay, take about 30 seconds more. It's an important question. This is an important topic. Exceptions to the rule of caveat emptor. Okay, now purchase. Now we are going to discuss all of them point by point. Okay, purchase by description. The rule of caveat emptor does not apply in a case where the goods are bought by description from a seller. So, like I told you, whenever the buyer describes the good to the seller and the seller says, yeah, sir, according to that description, I will give you the goods, then the doctrine of caveat emptor does not apply in case where the goods are bought by description from a seller. Examples: case of Andrews versus Singer and Co. Limited 1934, a car is sold as a new Singer car. The buyer finds out that it is a used one. The buyer may reject the car or retain the car and claim damages. Okay, so in this case, the buyer said that he wants a new car. Okay, so it was a purchase by description. But the seller sold him an old car. Okay, so the buyer found out that it was not a new car but it was an old car. So the buyer has two options. He can either retain the goods and claim damages, or he can return the car, reject the car and take legal action against the seller. Okay, why? Because it was a purchase by description. He told him that he wants a brand new car and he also described the car, but when the actual car was given, it did not match the description. So the buyer can either accept the car and claim damages or reject the car and take legal action against the seller. Please take a minute, go through this. Any questions? Please ask. Any questions? Please ask. Okay, any questions, anyone? Please ask. Let me know once you're done, please. Any questions? Okay, just about 15 seconds more and then we proceed. Are we done? Okay, take about a minute more. Any questions you may have, please ask. Okay, next one. Purchase by sample and description. Okay, so where goods are bought by samples as well as by description and the bulk of goods do not correspond with the description, the buyer is entitled to reject the goods. Where the goods are bought by sample as well as description, so when the buyer gives a sample to the seller as well as gives him a description of what kind of goods he wants, and the bulk of the goods do not correspond with the description, the buyer is entitled to reject the goods. Okay, so here again the doctrine of caveat emptor will not hold good. Examples: case of Nicole versus God's 1854, foreign refined grape oil was sold warranted to be equal to sample. The sample was actually not foreign refined grape oil but a mixture of hemp oil. Held that the buyer could reject the oil though the bulk corresponds with the sample. Okay, so here again the buyer gave a sample, so the actual output did not correspond with the sample, so the buyer can reject the oil though the bulk corresponds with the sample. So here again the doctrine of caveat emptor will not hold good. Alright, please take 2 minutes, go through this. Any questions, please ask. Any questions, please ask me. Take a minute more. Any questions, please ask. Let me know once you're done, please. Are we done? Okay, let's proceed. Now, the next point is your fitness for purpose. For purpose. When the buyer informs the seller that a particular purpose for which the goods are required and relies upon the seller's skill or judgment, in that case, the seller cannot take the benefit of the doctrine of caveat emptor. Okay, so let's say the buyer goes to a shop and he says, I want a cricket bat, a leather cricket bat to be played in county matches, or proper leather ball cricket bat, and based on the seller's skills, the seller gives him a tennis ball cricket bat, okay, which the buyer takes it and it breaks when he plays with leather ball. So in that case, the seller cannot take the advantage of the doctrine of caveat emptor, because it was very clearly told to him by the buyer that he wants the bat for leather ball purpose and he does not want a tennis ball cricket bat, but the seller still went ahead and gave him a tennis ball cricket bat. So in that case, the doctrine of caveat emptor does not hold good. All right, please take a minute, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask. Okay. Now, mercantile it's not quantity, it is quality. Okay. Where the goods are bought by description from a seller who deals in goods of that description, whether he is a manufacturer or producer or not, there is an implied condition that the goods should be of mercantile quality. Okay, mercantile quality means quality that can be bought and sold and not substandard or poor quality. Example, A bought black yarn from D and found it to be damaged by white ants. Held, the condition as to mercantility was broken. So, irrespective, there is always an implied warranty, implied condition that the goods sold by the seller to the buyer should always be of mercantile quantity and it should not be substandard or poor. Okay, and in this case, again, you cannot take advantage of the doctrine of caveat emptor. Okay, please take a minute, go through this. Any questions, please ask. Okay, please go through this. Take a minute. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions whatsoever, please ask. Any questions? Please take a minute more. Any questions, please ask me. Let me know once you're done, please. Are we done? Okay, just about 30 seconds more and then we proceed. Okay, consent by fraud. We discussed this as well. Where the seller makes a false statement intentionally to the buyer and the buyer relies on it, or where the seller knowingly conceals the defects in the goods, the doctrine of caveat emptor does not apply. So in short, whenever the seller sells goods to the buyer by committing a fraud or in a fraudulent manner, then the doctrine of caveat emptor does not hold good. And or when the seller unknowingly conceals the defects in the goods and tells them, no, there's nothing, there's no defect in it, then the doctrine of caveat emptor does not apply and the buyer can take legal action against the seller. Okay, please take a minute, go through this. Any questions, please ask. Any questions, please ask. Take about a minute more. Okay, next is sale by sample. Now, if in the sale of goods by sample, the rule of caveat emptor does not apply if the bulk does not correspond with the sample. So, if the buyer has given the seller a sample and he said that I want all my goods in that sample, or if the buyer is not given an opportunity to compare bulk with the sample, then in that case, the doctrine of caveat emptor does not hold good. Example, certain shoes were sold by sample for the French army. The shoes were found to contain paper not discoverable by ordinary inspection. Held, the buyer was entitled to the refund of the price plus damages. Okay, so that means the buyer had given him a sample and he wanted the shoes to correspond to that sample. But the shoes that were sold by the seller do not correspond to that sample, and hence the buyer was entitled to the refund of the price plus damages. Alright, please take a minute, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask. Okay, take about 30 seconds more. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask. Okay, condition as to title. The general rule is that only the owner of the goods can transfer a good title. No one can give a better title than he himself has. Okay, so whatever title a person has, whether good or bad, he can only transfer that title. He cannot transfer a title other than what he himself has. Examples: A finds a ring of B and sells it to a third person who purchases it for value and in good faith. The true owner B can recover from that person for A having no title, could no pass better. Okay, all right. So hi Rahul, how are you? Nice to see you. Okay, so basically A finds the ring of B, so it's not A does not own it. So when A sells it to a third person who purchases it in good faith, the true owner B can still recover from that person, as A having no title could not pass a better one. So A does not have title to the goods, and so he cannot pass on a better title to a third person. So the basic rule is anyone who has whatever the title, good or bad, he can only pass on that title and not something else. Okay, please take a minute, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Let me know once you're done, please. Any questions? If you do, please ask me. Okay, now let's start off with some examples, and these are all revision test papers questions. Revision test papers issued by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, and used here only for education and discussion purposes only. Okay, so these are certain questions on doctrine of caveat emptor. We will quickly discuss that in today's session. Okay. Okay. Now, Mr. Amit was shopping in a self-service supermarket. He picked up a bottle of cold drink from a shelf. While he was examining the bottle, it exploded in his hands and injured him. He files a suit for damages against the owner of the market on the ground of breach of condition. Decide under the Sale of Goods Act 1930 whether Mr. Amit would succeed in his claim. Okay, let's look at the answer. Essentials of sale. The problem as given in the question is based on section 16(2) of the Sale of Goods Act, which states that where goods are bought by description from the seller who deals in that goods of that description, whether he is manufacturer or producer or not, there is an implied condition that the goods shall be of merchantable quality. Okay, now again this one also was exception to the doctrine of caveat emptor. Though the term merchantable quality is not defined in the Act, it means that in present case the bottle must be properly sealed. In other words, if the goods are purchased for self-use, they should be reasonably fit for the purpose for which it is being used. Okay, so basically the goods should be of merchantable quality, and when the goods are of merchantable quality, then the seller cannot use the protection of doctrine of caveat emptor. Okay, and if it was a dangerous good, he should have mentioned over there that this is a dangerous good, it could explode, please handle with care. Because the seller did not do that, the seller is responsible to the buyer. In the instance case, on an examination of the cold drink bottle, it exploded and injured the buyer. Applying the provision of section 16(2), Mr. Amit would succeed in the claim from damages from the shop owner. Okay, because the doctrine of caveat emptor does not hold good. All right, please take about two minutes, go through this, and then we proceed. Any questions, please ask me. Please let me know once you're done. Take about a minute more. Any questions, please ask. Okay, let's look at the next question, RTP question. Suraj sold his car to Sohan for rupees 75,000. After inspection and satisfaction, Sohan paid rupees 25,000 and took possession of the car and promised to pay the remaining amount within a month. Later on, Sohan refuses to give the remaining amount on the ground that the car was not in good condition. Advise Suraj as to what remedy is available to him against Sohan. Okay, so Suraj basically offered Sohan his car for 75,000. Sohan took the car, got it inspected, he was okay, and he paid him 25,000, and he said remaining 50,000 I'll pay you after a month. After a month, when Suraj asked Sohan for the money, Sohan said, no, I'm not paying you the money because the car is not in good condition. Now Suraj wants to know what legal action he can take against Sohan. Answer. As per section 55 of the Sale of Goods Act, an unpaid seller has the right to institute a suit for price against a buyer personally. The said section lays down that where under a contract of sale, the property in the goods has passed to buyer and the buyer wrongfully neglects to or refuses to pay for the goods, the seller may sue him for the price of the goods. Alright? 2. Where under the contract of sale and the price is payable on a certain day irrespective of the delivery and buyer wrongfully neglects or refuses to pay such price, the seller may sue him for the price. It makes no difference even if the property in the goods has not passed and the goods have not been appropriated to the contract. So there are two situations here. One is there is a contract between the buyer and seller, and the goods have passed on from the seller to the buyer, and the seller said and the buyer said on this day I will pay you, and on that day if he wrongfully refuses to pay, then the buyer can file a case against him. The second one is in case there is a contract and the buyer tells the seller that I will pay you on so and so day. So even though on so and so day if the goods do not pass on to the seller, he is still liable to pay. Okay, the problem is based on the above provisions, hence Suraj will succeed against Sohan for recovery of the remaining amount. Apart from this, Suraj is also entitled to interest on the remaining amount, that is rupees 50,000, interest during pendency of the suit, and cost of the proceedings. Alright, please take about 2 minutes, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions? Alright, any questions? If not, let's go to the next slide. Okay, RTP questions. For the purpose of making uniform for the employees, Mr. Yadav bought dark blue colored cloth from Vivek but did not disclose to the seller the purpose of the said purchase. Okay, so please note, Mr. Yadav did not tell Vivek the purpose for which he is buying the cloth. When uniforms were prepared and used by the employees, the cloth was found unfit. However, there was evidence that the cloth was fit for caps, boots and carriage lining. Advise Mr. Yadav whether he is entitled to have any remedy under the Sale of Goods Act 1930. This is also caveat emptor. Now, here the seller can rely on the doctrine of caveat emptor because the purpose for which the buyer was buying the goods has not been informed to the seller. Mr. Yadav did not tell Vivek what purpose for uniforms he wants the cloth. He bought the cloth, got uniform stitched, and later on he found out that the cloth is unfit for uniforms. So in this case, Mr. Yadav is not entitled to have any remedy under the Sale of Goods Act 1930 simply because he did not tell Vivek the purpose for which he was buying the goods. Okay, that's your answer. As per provisions of section 16(1) of the Sale of Goods Act 1930, an implied condition in the contract of sale that an article is fit for a particular purpose only arises when the purpose for which goods are supplied is known to the seller. The buyer relied on the seller's skills or judgment and the seller deals in goods in his usual course of business. In this case, the cloth supplied is capable of being applied to a variety of purposes. The buyer should have told the seller the specific purpose for which he required the goods, but he did not do so. Therefore, the implied condition as to the fitness for the purpose does not apply. Hence, the buyer will not succeed in getting any remedy from the seller under the Sale of Goods Act 1930. Okay, please take 2 minutes. Go through this. I've already explained it to you. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask me. Okay, any questions? Please take a minute more. Any questions? Any questions, please ask. Okay, please take about a minute more, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Please take a minute. Okay, let's go to the next one. Then, okay, now RTP question again here. Ram consults Sham, a motor car dealer, for cars suitable for touring purposes to promote the sale of his product. Sham suggests Maruti and Ram accordingly buys it for Sham. The car turns out to be unfit for touring purpose. What remedy Ram is having under the Sale of Goods Act 930? So Ram consults Sham, a motor car dealer, for a car suitable for touring purpose. So Sham tells him, yeah, Maruti car is good, so buy that for touring purpose. So Ram, relying on what Sham said, buys a Maruti from Sham. The car turns out to be unfit for touring purpose. Now what remedy Ram is having under the Sale of Goods Act 1930? Let's look at the answer. Condition and warranty. A stipulation in a contract with reference to goods which are subject, there may be condition or warranty. A condition is a stipulation essential to the main purpose of the contract, the breach of which gives rise to the right to treat the contract as repudiated. A warranty is a stipulation collateral to the main purpose of the contract, the breach of which gives rise to a claim for damages but not to a right to reject the goods and treat the contract as repudiated. Whether a stipulation in a contract of sale is a condition or warranty depends upon the case of the construction of the contract. Stipulation may be a condition, though called a warranty in the contract. In the instant case, the term that the car should be suitable for touring purpose. That means it is a condition that is essential to the main purpose of the contract, and if that condition is not fulfilled, the buyer can cancel the contract and take legal action. Okay, so in this particular case, Ram very clearly said that he wants the car for touring purpose. All right, so that was the implied condition. It's a condition of the contract. It is so vital that its non-fulfillment defeats the very purpose for which Ram purchases the car. Ram is therefore entitled to reject the car and have a refund of the price. Okay, please take about 2 minutes, go through the solution. Any questions, please ask me. Take about a minute more. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask. Kindly go through this. Take another minute or so. Any questions, please ask. It's a very important question from the exam point of view. Okay, any questions, please ask. Are we done? Let me know once you're done, please. Okay, go through the slide. We've already discussed this. Please take about 2 minutes, go through this. Any questions, please ask. Then we have another slide, and then that's it. Done for the day. Any questions, please ask. I've already explained this, so I'm just expecting you to read it. Please take another minute or so. Any questions, please ask. Any questions, please ask me. One more slide and then we're done. Let me know once you're done, please. Okay, go through this. Let me know once you're done. All right, almost there. 10 seconds more. All right, so with this, I'd like to end this session. Thank you so much for being a wonderful audience. Let's crack CA exams with Unacademy, India's largest online learning platform that gives you a world of courses, resources, content, live and recorded sessions to help you in your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examination. Also by giving you top educators, quality content and overall a great learning experience. So come, let's crack CA exams with Unacademy, India's largest online learning platform. Also, please do not forget to use my code Prathik while subscribing for the Plus platform of Unacademy to get an instant discount of 10% on the listed price. Okay, so thank you so much for being a wonderful audience. After going through the session, in case you have any questions, queries or observations or whatever it is, you can always let me know and I will be happy to answer your questions and queries. So we will be ending today's session with this, and I will see you in the next 20 minutes with the revision test papers May 2019 part 2. Okay, thank you so much for being a wonderful audience, and I will see you all soon. Thank you.